Everybody, it's Dana. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be playing with the Flashy Florals from My Favorite Things. I absolutely love this package, as well as all of the pretty inks that come with it, the stamp set, the dies, the paper. It is so worth the money, you guys. So worth the money. I've had this now for a couple of weeks and I'm just making a video, but I have to tell you, this is probably one of my favorite of kits that they've had. So I'm going to pull out some of the beautiful paper and we're going to go ahead and make a quick card. So you guys know me, I color swatch everything that I get in my stamp room, and I thought today I would just stamp the flowers directly onto the color paper. So I'm going to bring in my cutter really quick so I can trim down my paper just so it's going to fit the front of a card panel. I just don't want to waste any of that gorgeous paper. All right, so let me get that out of the way and then we can get busy again. I'm going to grab my Misty though, because I want to make sure I line everything up perfectly. The ink colors and everything out of this kit I will have listed at the bottom. I'm not even sure if this kit is still available or not. I actually have already purchased the next kit that they already have out, so I'm a little bit behind on getting this video up for everybody. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and place down one of the flowers, and I'm going to grab the darker of the colors. Now, in this kit, you ended up getting 8 inks, which I think is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. If I'm correct, this kit cost me like $63, but it was so worth the money. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and ink that up, and I'm going to go ahead, let me see if I can find that color that I used. So the color that I used was the eggplant, I believe. And look how gorgeous that is. Look how gorgeous that flower is. I'm going to ink that up one more time and stamp that down again because I want to get a really great impression. And I'm sorry, you guys, I did not use the eggplant. I used the periwinkle for this. All right, next I'm going to go ahead and line up another flower. And I'm going to go ahead and pick that back up with my Misty. And I'm going to go ahead and ink that up again. Now, this is a super easy technique to do. And what I love about it is that you really don't have the white outline. Actually, your outline is going to be obviously the same color as the paper that you're stamping on. So remember, you don't always have to use white paper. You can also use any color paper to do your stamping. And like I said, when you die cut this out, you just won't have the white border. It will be the same color as the flower. All right, next I'm going to come in and I want to put in that overlay. I love buildable flowers. And if you guys like this look, remember, I also have one at Brutus Monroe that is also a buildable flower one. All right, when I did stamp this one here, I did use the eggplant color. You see how beautiful that is? And I'm just going to clean it off a little bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and line that up with my next flower. I just love a buildable flower. I just think it's so gorgeous. And you can do it within a rainbow of colors. I really think, the color combinations on buildable things are like endless. So I'm going to go ahead and press that down. I'm going to give that a good press and lift that up. And look how gorgeous. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, I love it. Let's go ahead and add a center spot though. We don't want to have a naked flower. So I'm just going to line it up in the middle. Now, with this, you can leave that blank. You don't have to do it. But in this kit, you get a lot of images that you can build upon. And like I said, that's why I really think this set is gorgeous. Again, I'm just going to dab that off just to get some of the ink off so when I lay it down, it doesn't smear anything. I'm going to pop that down, pick it back up, and I'll go ahead and do the center of that flower. So you see how easy this is to build this gorgeous flower, right? Easy peasy. All right, that looks fabulous. Let's go ahead and pick that up and let's get that out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and grab the matching die for this. So in most of the kits, I believe from My Favorite Things, you always have the matching dies in the kit, which is fantastic. Now, remember, if you don't have a matching die, I also have a scan and cut, so I can go ahead and cut it out with my scan and cut. But I will have to tell you, I'm still a die-hard die girl. because sometimes I don't want to turn on that machine, have to load the mat, cut it, make sure everything lines up. I just rather have a darn die cut. It just makes it so much easier. All right, so I just kept spinning this around until I can get the right configuration of how that flower lined up. I'm just going to tape that down, but I just want to make sure it's exactly where it needs to be because I want to have a really nice border around that. All right, so I can go ahead and get my cutter. Let me move everything out the way and let me bring in my big shot really, really quick, and we can get this puppy cut up. So I always use the magnetic plate, and this kind of helps everything stay where it needs to stay. So I do have that magnetic plate underneath my acrylic plates. It just helps everything stay in place. And I probably use that magnetic plate 99% of the time, anytime I'm die cutting. It just happens to work for me. I really, really like having it. Now, remember, you don't have to have it. It just works for me. So I'm going to go ahead and spin that die around again until I find that sweet spot where everything lines up. I'm going to turn it one more time. Is that it? Nope. I got to keep turning. Oh my God, this is what happens when you make a video. All right, I got everything in place. Oh, don't you just love YouTube? And you know what? I was going to edit that out, but why? I mean, I need to keep it real. There are always errors when you're stamping and stuff, and sometimes cutting them out just, it just doesn't show your human side. So I want to make sure I show my human side when I make all my mistakes. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and bring in my Misty, and I'm going to grab one of the pieces of paper that came in the kit. This one is called Jelly Bean Green. I really, really love this color, and I'm actually going to stamp in the same exact color. So we're going to have a really nice tone on tone. Something very similar that I did with the flowers, with using a periwinkle on top of the periwinkle paper. I'm going to be doing the same exact thing now with the leaves. And like I said, you can stamp this on white cardstock, and then you would have like that white border around. But I'm always doing that. I'm always doing, a white border around. So I thought this time making this card, I would just keep it kind of monochromatic, where I'm having the colors just really repeat themselves. So I'm going to make sure I use that green paper with the green ink. I use the purple paper with the purple ink. So I just thought, I would think outside the box this time and kind of do something a little bit different. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stamp this one up again. And I'm going to place that down. Now you will see that I double stamped this because I want to make sure that I get good coverage. And I also did that on the flowers. I made sure to double stamp just so I know I have a really good coverage. All right, that looks pretty darn good. I think we're winning on that one. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my dies because I'm going to die cut this out as well. Now, obviously, the leaf is a little bit easier to die cut out. This was easier to do. I don't have to keep spinning this around to try to find out where I'm going to cut. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and cut that off camera. All right, so here are the flowers as well as the leaves. Now, you guys know me, I'm a great fan of white card bases. So I went ahead and I dug into my washi tape, and I have this beautiful washi tape that actually has flowers on it. I believe I picked this up at the expo, the scrapbook expo that they had in Orlando a couple weeks ago. And I'm really glad I did because look, it matches my flowers perfectly. So I'm just going to lay down a couple strips of that. And see, you guys know we have a buttload of washi tape. You guys need to use that washi tape. Just don't let it sit there. Pull it out. Make some really great cards with it. It's really simple and easy to do. Really simple. So I'm just going to go ahead and plan out my layout here. Now, what I did too is I also had another flower already cut out. So I'm going to use probably all 3 of the flowers, and I'm just going to have 2 of the leaves. So I think that looks pretty good. I think that looks great. All right, I went ahead and I die cut out the word hello. I'm just going to go ahead and pop that out. And I'm going to keep this card really, really simple. I'm just going to grab that hello and let me see. I think it looks pretty good above that gorgeous washi. Okay, so now it's time to assemble the card. I'm just going to use some glue to do this. And this way my card won't have too much bulk when I need to put it in the mail. So I'm just going to actually glue everything down. So I'm just going to place one of the leaves almost towards the corner. And then I'm going to place the other one almost where it's kind of like touching. And then all of my flowers are going to overlay that. So you're not even going to see that. All right, so I'm going to take flower number 1. And again, with using the glue, it gives me a little bit of wiggle room compared to if I was just doing it with adhesive. Because usually once it's down, it's down. So this way, if you're using glue, I have just that, couple of seconds to kind of move things around, make sure it's in the same exact spot that I want it, and then I can go ahead and push it down. All right, I think that is looking pretty good. I'm really liking that. All right, so I think on that third one though, I am going to go ahead and pop that one up. I think it just needs to be raised up. Otherwise, I think everything would just look too smushed down. And there's not going to be a lot of depth to the card, so I'm not going to worry about that. Let me see. Is that, I'm going to slide that over just a little bit, just so I can kind of see the design on all of them. See, and that's what happens when you use glue. You still have that wiggle room to kind of move things around. All right. Last but not least, I'm going to go ahead and grab some more of that glue to put down my sentiment. So you see how pretty this card is, you guys? So what? We die cut out a couple of flowers, some leaves, a sentiment, and what pulled it all together was the washi tape. Super easy. Or I'm just going to add some glue all the way around. And I probably could have sprayed this with adhesive, but at the moment I was not even thinking about climbing underneath my desk to grab my spray adhesive. Going to place that down again. Using that glue gives me some wiggle room time so I can figure out exactly where I want everything to be. And I'm just going to clean up some of that extra glue that kind of squirted out when I laid down my sentiment. Looks fabulous. All right, all I need to do is trim off that washi tape. Just trim that right off the corner of the card. Let me flip that around. I probably should have cut the washi tape down before I stuck on my flower. So I'm going to have to be a little bit careful, make sure I do not cut my flower, because I'd be pretty mad if I did. Alrighty. So what do you guys think? Really nice card, right? So super easy. All right, you guys, thanks for hanging out with me today. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Take care.